Well, Dom, I guess first off, does this feel like old hat now, being the third one?
Yeah, no, it's exciting to be back here. It's just good to see all the new guys here and meet new guys, see new faces, and see the staff again. Get it back on the ice, but yeah, it feels good though.
Getting the year that you did under your belt, experiencing it, at both the East Coast and the American Hockey League levels, and knowing what you know of yourself now and of Thomas, if the Craig Heisinger was going to have a conversation with you and asked you for your opinion, would you say, "Yeah, I think Thomas and I can handle the load for the Moose now going forward," or what would a conversation like that be like if you were asked that?
Yeah, of course. I think we're both fantastic goalies, and we're both there to push each other every night and every day, on and off the ice. But I think we do a great job at handling that competition and friendship kind of thing. I think we've proven that we're both capable of playing at this American League, and that we're there to help our team each and every night. But at the same time, that's a management decision, and that's what they're for. All I can control is my day to day basis here, working hard every day, and just getting that 1% better each and every day for them to believe in me and continue sticking it out in the AHL.
What's development like as a goaltender? I mean, only one of you gets to play in a given game as opposed to 18 skaters. So is there almost an understanding that development can be a longer path at your position than maybe a forward or a defenseman?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something you sign yourself up for from day one. You know that there's only two goalies per team, and one's going to play. And especially when you get older to the higher levels, it comes down to starter and backup roles. And like I said, my job here is just to make sure that I stick to getting better every day, pushing my teammates, and like I said, 1% better, and leave that sort of starter backup role to the coaching staff and the management, and just make sure that I prove to them that I'm capable of taking on that starter role. And age is only a number. I think if you're ready and you prove that you're ready, then I think you should be given that opportunity. And I think the staff here, like I've said all season long, have done an amazing job with how they've handled everything.
What's it like to be part of an organization that now has a three-time VZNA winner and, in very rare air, a Hart Trophy winner at the position that you play?
Speaks for itself. Pretty special. Just to be able to say that I've been on the ice with Helly has been, it's a true honor. And you don't take that lightly. Like you said, it's one thing to win the Vezina one time, two times, three times, but to win the Hart Trophy as well is a whole different level. And just to be on the ice with him and be able to take tips from him and learn from him each and every day is pretty special to me. So I don't take that lightly. And I think come September, I'm going to pick his brain a little bit and obviously try to, like I said, it's a job, right? We got to, compete every single night, but learning from him is going to be a huge opportunity for me, and I'll take advantage of that.
I wonder if you could speak to what it was like to even learn at Norfolk as part of the process and the pro transition for you.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I think, going down there and learning what it is to, play at both levels and all the traveling and, just getting games under my belt in my first pro season is huge. So I've said it, like I said, all season long, that I thought that was a great opportunity for me to go down there and learn and, get myself better and push myself to get back up here to the AHL and prove that I'm ready for this spot here.
Is there almost an extra challenge when you got to ride a bus for the length of time and then get out and then get flexible and ready and focused and all that sort of stuff that maybe trains goalies even better that come out of that league?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's adversity, and that's kind of how you get better is using that as motivation. At least that's kind of what I do is I use that adversity and that extra bus ride as a motivation for me to make sure that I'm prepared for that night. But I've learned it in junior. I did it in the OHL where we had bus rides and we jump off and play a game. So I think it was just another thing for me. It was just learning how to manage all that, because you can't be you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's kind of the what I had going in my head all season long was just get off this bus ride and if you're a little stiff, you're a little bit tired, battle through that. How you're going to make sure that you're ready for that game, because nobody cares about excuses. And for me, it's just making sure that I'm ready each and every night.
Non-goalies don't do goalie speak as well as we could, but maybe what are one or two things that you and the coaches are working on to take the next step in your career?
Yeah, I think just working on everything, every aspect is a big big thing for me. I think just my balance, making sure that I'm, more forward on my toes, and having my hands out in proper positions, just being quicker, are the main things. But I think overall, it's just, can't be complacent with one thing. You've got to, work on something every single day and make sure that you have, 2 or 3 things that you're working on every ice session to, one day perfect, quote unquote. But obviously, you're not going to be able to perfect everything, but just to make sure that it's the best of my ability that I'm doing it. So I think that's, if I was to take 2 things, it would be my balance and my hands.
Just in terms of you're here at the prospect camp, and a lot of these guys are going to be your teammate next year with the Moose. So what does that mean to have this opportunity to kind of get to know these guys a little bit better, and then know that you're going to grow with them next year with the Moose?
Oh, it's huge. It's like Mr. Chipman said. It's all about growing together, and going back to what happened, like they said, that story with the Jets when Scheifele's dad passed away. It's how you're going to be there all together each and every night and be there for each other, and how they started at such a young age or young core, and then they build with each other. And I think that's huge. Like coming here and seeing there's 4 or 5 guys that may be on the team next year with us is it's huge. We start now at a young age, and we build together, and hopefully we're one day teammates on the Jets, right? So that's where kind of how it starts is coming here to development camp, and it's obviously important getting to know guys. And I've known a few guys obviously through the OHL growing up, all from the Toronto area, but even the new guys, it's great to hear what they're all about and become friends with them, because in 3-4 months we're going to be all back here together, and we're all going to be fighting for a championship together here. So I think that's huge that we all start here, and it's important that we're all here.
And your summer plans? What's up after development camp?
I think just getting right back to it, just training, working out, spend some family time. I've only got home maybe a little bit over a month ago, so, it's going to be huge to get the next couple weeks here when I get back to spend time with the family, and, I think just enjoy it and just get back to work.
What about you in your personal role? You talk about, you try to be friendly with the goaltender on the roster with you, but how do you balance, what's your method for wanting to play all the time and trying to be a good teammate too? I mean, how do you walk that line?
Yeah, I think the whole point of, or the whole process of just maturing and being at this pro level, I think, is understanding that we don't have the decision of who's going to play, kind of thing. So I think with both me and Millie, or any goalie that I've ever been partnered with, I think the main thing is just understanding that we don't have the decision of who's going to play. So we kind of put that aside, and we just make sure that we're all we're both pushing each other, and what the coaches decide is out of our control. And I think at the end of the day, it's just how you're gonna end up succeeding in life and making that next jump to the next level is being a good teammate. Like everybody talks about, the Jets draft and have great teammates, and I think that's the main thing, is just being there for one another. Even when times are tough, don't get negative. Stay positive with each other, and make sure that we're both pushing, because at the end of the day, we're both winning. We're both pushing to win a championship together. So I think if we have a poor tandem, you're not going to ever get to that championship. So I think it's important that we know that we're there together and we push each other each and every day, and hopefully one day we win that together.